Okay, let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, sure, I can.
All right, that's great. So, hi guys, welcome to L2 Blockchains. My name is Blessing Emma, and this is what I'll be teaching you today. For most of you, you have probably heard about L2s a lot and you've been curious. So, today I'm meant to educate you about this, and what I'm going to give you is like an overview. So, it's up to you to go and do your own learnings afterwards to solidify your knowledge and in case there are any things that you don't understand. So, let's just get started. So, like I said, my name is Blessing Emma. I'm a blockchain engineer and I'm a Web3 developer advocate. I advocate for Web3 products and communities that change lives. And I want to ask a question. So, Emmanuel, what do you understand by Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3? Like, what do you think about this?
Oh, sorry, please come again. I didn't get the question.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
so what is Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 to you? Like, what do you think they are?
Okay, so I would say I think Web one is like just how the web actually started, right?
Okay.
It's to be brief, I'll just say it's a static web, right? Where we can just like publish content, but we can't really do some like it's we can't really like read or write stuff to it, right? It's just like static. There, you just go there and view stuff and
Okay.
whatnot.
What about
So
Web
Web
2?
two, so Web 2,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So Web 2 actually brought the paradigm of being able to do read and write operations on websites, right? You can
Yeah.
send front and back updates content, basically like the dynamic web, right?
Mm-hmm.
The likes of social media and all. While Web 3 is the decentralized web that's free of censorship, and basically um, anyone can interact with it, right? If they choose to,
Okay,
yeah.
you got it actually. Well done. You know what Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 is. So, like Emmanuel said, this is basically what Web 1 is all about. So, like you said, this was like during the 90s. We can say the static read only, and we had like our Explorer. All you had to do then was just go and read information. You could not contribute or do that thing. And then Web 2 is basically what we have right now as an everyday app: WhatsApp, Netflix, Chrome, Twitter, every single thing. And now Web 3 is now like, okay, we don't want the power to just be in the hands of a few people. We want everyone to have control of their data, information. And that's where we started, and that's where we have like lots of MetaMask, Consensus, Brave, everything. And like the other slide is like Web 1 is trust in the government, and that was like only passing information whether it was true or not. Web 2 was now big tech companies, the FANG, that is Facebook, Amazon. Sorry. Okay, let me just let somebody in. So, Facebook, Amazon, and okay, I have to present in this. Okay, so alright, give me a minute. I wish I could actually put someone in. So I will continue now. So let me go back to my presentation. Okay. So welcome everyone that came in late, a few minutes late. So today we're talking about L2 blockchains, and I've given a big intro. So my name is Blessing Emma, blockchain engineer, Web3. We talked about Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, and that's where we are on now. So this is basically what Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 is. I've already talked about this first, the evolution of the web. Now on the second slide, we had to trust in big tech, and that was like FANG. That was Facebook, Amazon, and all Google, all of them like that. It was only them. And now in this Web3, it's like trustless. That means you don't want to trust a man. Instead, I want to have a contract with you, and then computer or code runs it. So once you fulfill your end of the bargain, I basically get paid. It's not more a what if you run away. Like we've had cases of, how many of you guys have done freelancing on probably Upwork or Fiverr, or even done a work for somebody and they ran away with your money? Does anyone have that kind of experience?
No.
No, okay. Any other person?
Yes, I've had such an experience.
So what happened? Can you hear us? Okay, don't worry. You can mute your mic if you cannot talk. Sorry, give me a moment, guys. Okay. So now moving on to what brings us up here. Before you can learn about L2s, definitely you must know what L1s are, and that is basically blockchains. So this one everyone should know the answer. So who can just like give me a short definition of a blockchain? Olumide. Daniel, does anyone want to try a short explanation of what the blockchain is?
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, a blockchain is like a system that records transactions.
Okay. All right, no problem.
That's the layman language.
It's good. At least the simpler it is, easy for everybody to understand. Any other person want to give it a try? Okay. Any other person?
Yes.
I was about to say something. I don't know if
No, just give
you
it
can
a
hear me.
try. I can hear you.
All right, yeah. So I think I would say blockchain is basically a system that is meant to be decentralized and free of censorship, right? So basically, it's an open system that operates in a decentralized manner, and at any point in time, basically, anyone can verify the state of that system.
Yeah, true. So I like what you guys said. The word decentralized, open, anyone, trustless, no one is in control. That's basically what the blockchain is. And I like what you said, recording transactions on the blockchain. The fact that what makes the blockchain trustable is the fact that any action and actions on the blockchain are transactions that happens are recorded. There's no way that it can be covered up, or you hear any fake news, like example, elephant stole money. You can't hear all those kind of things. So that's the whole purpose of a blockchain. It's basically, let's just say, it's here to tackle corruption, let me say. So everything that's meant to happen, if it's not done, it's not recorded on the blockchain, and there are ways to prove that. And if you think that you can scam people, the blockchain will prove that, okay, you said you sent probably 10 and you only sent 5, or you were meant to send more and you didn't. Things like that. That's what the blockchain helps in recording transactions. So moving on to the blockchain trilemma. Has anyone ever heard of this?
No.
Okay. Has anyone ever?
Yes.
All right. Care to share?
Yes. I think it's all about scalability, decentralization, and what's the third one now?
Security.
Wait,
Security. That's the
the
last
third
one.
one just skipped my mind now. So
Okay. So this is basically the blockchain
yeah, security.
trilemma.
Yeah, security. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
So the blockchain trilemma was like, when the blockchain first came up, it was like it was not possible to create a blockchain that could achieve all of these three angles. That means it must be secure, scalable, and decentralized. It was not possible. So then let's just Vitalik had to make a choice. It was best to probably, and some other players also, build something, and then let's just say Bitcoin and Ethereum, that we know the first blockchains, they went to decentralized and secured, and they'll be like, oh, later on we focus on scalability. But right now, and then that's why in this second image you can see examples of blockchains that have gone the decentralized and secured way. We have Ethereum, Bitcoin, even the Creed, and even in the scalable and they are secured, but then they're not decentralized. They are more of centralized, centralized blockchains. We have Ripple, Neo, Stellar. In terms of their scalable and decentralized, but they're not secured. That's Dash, Name, Ado. I know, like during that early period of 2017, 2018, 18, Dash was a hot coin then, but right now I don't really know much about the project again. So this is basically the whole problem of, this is where the whole issue of scalability came into place, and this is where L2 comes into place. So what of scalability? Scalability of blockchain basically means that you want a blockchain to be able to perform lots of transactions. So like I wrote here in my notes is that layer 1 blockchains that we know, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are referred to as the base blockchain. And now when we have now we're wondering about scalability, how do we solve that? This is where L2s come into place. All these L2s are basically built to integrate, let's just say they are built on top of layer 1 blockchains. That means Bitcoin, Ethereum, every layer 1 blockchain. All these L2s come and they just be like, oh, I want to build on Ethereum, but my focus is on scalability. And they rely on the consensus mechanism and security of the main chain, like Ethereum. Let's just use Ethereum. So most chains that just came out L2s, let me just say, like example, I don't know if you guys know about Stacknet. It's an L2. It was actually like, it was also Ethereum that was layer 1 blockchain that based on. Now, this is what like the whole L2 space is all about now, trying to solve the problem of scalability. And scalability, you'll be wondering now what's so big about it. Is the fact that every time you have to make a transaction, or like developers, every time you have to deploy a contract, and there are lots of transactions, other people are deploying transactions, you see things like high gas fee. And then you see things like maybe just to deploy a small contract, they'll be asking to pay gas fee of $10. Maybe over there in US or and co, that's not a, but here in Nigeria, to deploy a gas fee of $10 is a lot of things. That's like I'm paying 7K. And what if my contract has issue? And that's one. Another one again is transaction speed. It will now be like it takes a while again for these blockchains to actually like, okay, my contract to be deployed, and you see that for your contracts to be verified, it could take like 30 minutes. That's not nice. Like I've interacted with testnet whereby they'll be like, oh, every 1 hour, that's when we send to you. It's not showing. I'm meant to send something now and receive it immediately. That's what makes blockchain so, let me say, what's the word? It's not palatable to the common class. I need to be able to send money now. Okay, someone has joined in. So I need to be able to send money now, and let's just say like now, God forbid, but we all know the whole story about, oh, a family member or someone is in need of money, and let's just say a brother or sister is abroad, and if you're going through the traditional Web 2 ways through the banks, Western Union, there's a lot of process, and then the banks also take cuts. So let's just say someone just send 100,000, the bank will probably just take 20,000, and let's just say your fee needed was 100,000. And apart from that is even the delay, the time it will take. Now with the whole blockchain, it means that someone could just send the money instantly and you receive it in your wallet. Like that's the whole purpose of blockchain. But now if I send it to you and you don't receive it immediately, it feels like, yes, it's better than Web 2, but it's not that, I want to use the word giving. It's not so like I'm not that hooked. Yes, it's better, but then it's not as easy as, okay, transferring between. It's just like transferring bank between yourselves and using your banks. Yes, sometimes that we have like NIBSS just go down, or a bank will not be working, but we just know that when you send money, you get it within 1 or 2 minutes. That's the way the blockchain should be, and that's what the goal is all about. Now, this is what L2s are coming to solve. Now, if you have heard about L2s, now you guys, I want you to see, does any of these things look familiar to you?
Yeah, very much, very much.
So which one? Which one have you heard about the most?
On layer 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, optimism, Arbitrum, ZK-Zinc is presently ongoing for, I think, for airdrop farmers. And
Yeah.
I think, okay, Starknet, yeah, also look familiar. I mean, for the roll-ups section, yeah.
Okay, that's actually very good. So like now we have different categories of L2 solutions, and there were periods whereby the other, like example, those ones that you don't recognize, like channels or probably side chains or even bridges, there were times that those things were really really popular. They're so popular, like if you could not just, that was like, like right now in the whole Web3 space, what is popular now is what, if okay you're a dev, account abstraction is what is popular right now. Have you guys heard about that? It's a new EIP. I think EIP 4337. I'm not sure.
Account what?
Abstraction. Let me Google it for you guys. So EIP. Let me see if it's the one. No, this I don't think this is the one. This one is the Shanghai one. Let's just say account. Yes. EIP. Yeah, 4337. I got it. Yeah, so this is like the latest thing right now that devs and all these big companies are looking into account abstraction. So you guys could look into it later. So we know that in the blockchain world, things are coming up newly, and as dev, you always have to be at the forefront of it all. So later on, you can read up about it, but it's really really cool. It basically AIP 4437 is trying to improve the UX of, let's just say, wallets, like allowing people to customize their wallets. Like example, the whole issue of your recovery of your, let's just, your seed phrase. Like now, if you misplace your seed phrase, there's no way of you recovering it. But with EIP 4337, there are ways you can recover it. And apart from that one, another features of it that's very amazing is the fact that, when you want to just interact with a chain, every single transaction you need to pay gas fee, right? Hello.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah,
what if,
yeah.
instead of example, let's say you wanted to meet an NFT, you have to, and then they ask you, you must have gas fee in this token. I don't have, that means you cannot mint, right?
Yeah.
You guys, come on, I need energy.
Sure.
Yes. So now,
Yes.
thank you. So now,
Yes,
EIP 4337 means that me, let us say me, that me, the creator of the smart contract, I could choose to pay the gas fee for every single person. So now, if you come to my platform and you want to mint my NFT, you just mint it directly to your wallet. You don't have to pay any gas fee because of I have paid it on your behalf. That's like Paymaster. It's part of like the main things that make EIP 4337 special. So look into it later. As dev, you always have to keep on learning. So back to our L2. So these are like the different kinds of L2 solutions out there. We have sidechains, channels, bridges, rollups. So the most popular right now that people are saying a lot about are rollups. That's why you have Optimism, Arbitrum, Starknet, ZK Sync, even Polygon is even there also. Lots of things. Still, you guys, you have to just study. So now there are two things that really make, let's just say, a scaling solution amazing or palatable to the user is the transaction execution and data availability. So like I said here, transaction execution deals with how transactions are run, where they are run, what the trust environments are, and what the security and decentralization environments are. That basically means that what is the structure of the system? How does it work? Who are the, let's just say, who are the little agents? Like example, what are the agents we need? Like now, is it that the money is going here, and then what's the timeline? So I'm going to show you guys another material that's going to help you, that will break that down, and that is the recommended material that everyone should study. It's learnweb3.io. So are you guys taking that course? Have you started taking the course? Hello guys.
No.
So this is the recommended
No.
material.
Actually, this is my first time on the call, so I never know.
Okay. All right. For everyone, if this is your first time on the call, our recommended resource for you to learn about blockchain is learnweb3.io. It's basically, they have different let me show you. So they have different levels. So let's just say you come on board, the first thing you do is connect your wallet. Then that means you must have a MetaMask account. So then you go here and take all the courses. By the time you're done with this, you will be like a senior, blockchain in depthly, and you have projects that you would have built along the way. So everyone, if you're a freshman, if you don't know anything, you start about, this is very, very simple. It will give you the basic knowledge, and then you move on to sophomore, and now in junior, maybe for the sake of what we are learning today, you go through, follow the process, but for the sake of what you're learning today, when you enter into junior, just move into so just go into what we are doing today, which is L2s. So L2s, I'm coming, let me let someone in. Okay. So for the sake of the project of today's class, go into the junior curriculum and just look into L2s. And like the way learnweb3.io works is that they ask you questions. So there are lots of notes here about everything, the scaling solutions, the side chains, the roll up, every single thing is here. So back to what I was saying. So now I talked about the transaction execution and data availability. So now this data availability, you may not fully understand it in-depthly. So my advice to you is that go through this. But I'm going to just move forward. Go through this and it will help you in breaking every single thing down. Now, moving into the whole different solutions that we have, let me just break down sidechain. Okay, let's just say state channels, and that is this one here. Let's just say these are the kinds of state channels that exist. But let me go here. So the state channels are used where two or more users want to do a bunch of transaction in a trusted setting without paying gas every single time. Now in the learnweb3.io, the recommended example is a game of tic-tac-toe. Or example, let's just say in the case of music, let me use a music scenario now. An artist is like promoting his music and wants to get paid. An artist, all these things about those say donate to this, donate to that. Every little transaction costs money, a lot of money. But now through state channels means that we're not focusing on every transaction that happens there. We're focusing on the beginning of the transaction and the end of the transaction. So let's just say that there is an end point in terms of a deadline. So every money that comes into the transaction during that period, you only pay probably one gas fee. And then it's now once the money has accumulated at the end of it, that's the ending of it all is where you get the money. So the gas fee there is little. So let me give you sorry about that. I'm coming. Sorry, give me a minute, guys. Okay. So let me give you an example of yes. Moving on to the example here. Okay. The example here is getting paid royalties for your music. So an artist wants to receive monthly payouts for their song, be listened to on different services such as Spotify. Now they want to get paid in it, but they don't want to do the work of setting this up. A company could just if an artist received an e-transfer for each and every song listened, the transfer fees will outweigh the profit from the listens. So using a state channel, the company could open a channel at the start of the month, collect royalties on behalf of the artist for the month, then close the channel at the end of the month, sending them a lump of cash, really paying a transaction fee once for that month. So this is a perfect scenario to show you how a state channel works. Like considering every time collecting royalties, like example, how people play the video songs every time. But you know that once you are streaming it on Spotify, the video is getting money. Every time that the video is receiving royalties, there's a gas, and he wants to get paid in it, there's a gas fee attached. But when everything accumulates, let's just say he receives 1 million, and then let's just use naira. So let's just say that he receives 1 million naira, and then your gas fee is like 200k in that 1 million. You have lost 200k. But now state channels are just basically we create the channel for you, and every royalty you just be collecting it, and at the end of the month what you're probably paying for gas fee is, let's just say 50k compared to 1 million. That's nothing. So that's what state chains really help a lot. Now that one is now like, this one is like between just one person or two people, but now we are focused on much more things. So another kind is side chains. So like side chains are Polygon, Gnostic chain, and other ones that I'm more familiar with. Yes, it's, in blockchain there are lots of innovations that it's not easy to keep track of everything, but I will give you some advice on how to use all this information in your career. So sorry, I want to see how I look on. Okay, are you guys following me?
Yeah.
Okay. So now a side chain is like an independent EVM compatible blockchain which runs a parallel to main chain. Now,
Sure.
Sorry. Okay. So what I'm saying is like a perfect example of, I would say, a side chain is Polygon. So when Polygon first started, it was mostly, sorry, I'm looking for, okay, it's Polygon, yeah. So when Polygon first started, it was mostly an EVM. It was mostly a side chain to Ethereum before they went and like built their own blockchain and all. And even right now, I still think it's still a side chain. And right, so you see people like be like, oh, you can just write your smart contract in Solidity and also deploy on Polygon because of it started like that. And what makes side chain special? I'm trying to go to my, okay. Here we are. Side chains. So like now it has some validator and consensus method of adding blocks, and apart from that, just like they said, mini Ethereum blockchains. So they basically have the whole benefits of Ethereum, but now they have their own validators and consensus. So it's now a case about, oh, Ethereum has so many transactions going on there. I could go to a side chain like Polygon, and there's another, you know what consensus modules and methods are. We have proof of work, proof of stake. It's now like, oh, I want my transactions to be faster, so I go to, and I know that Polygon is secured because of they are basically also attached to Ethereum, so they're using Ethereum security and decentralization. So now it's just a case about, okay, I want to use it because of it's faster than using Ethereum, at least the Ethereum of then, not now. So Ethereum is no more proof of, it is no more proof of work. We moved to proof of stake. We're now on proof of stake. Yes, we're not on proof of stake, we're now on proof of work. Sorry, let me be sure of that. Ethereum proof of work. We're now on proof of work. Let me ask, yeah. Okay. See, we're now on proof of work. Yes, we are in proof of work now. We left proof of stake. Proof of stake basically means that how much Ether you had then. So sidechain, and now this is another one. So these are the roll-ups, the one that everybody knows. Now roll-ups at first are not easy to understand because of it's kind of like mathematical, but we don't really know. I would say like our mathematics is different. It's like mostly algebra and all, but just understand the general idea of it. So roll-ups are solutions that perform transaction execution on layer 2, but then they post the transaction data on top of layer 1, just like the name suggests, a roll-up. That means all the transactions will happen on L2, but let me just say the cocoa of it all, the crux of the matter is that the end product of it all will be posted on the layer 1 blockchain that they are. Now we all know the most popular one, optimistic rollups, and even ZK knowledge rollups. So they are like in-depth way whereby these two work. Let me show you. Like I said before, please read this will really help you a lot. So I can't tell you every single thing that's here. Like now in optimistic rollups. So there are 3 players there, and that's Assetter, Challenger, Verifier, and these are their rules that they play. The setter will probably provide a bond or bid on to propose stuff. A challenger will now have to provide a bond in terms of, okay, make a challenge that, and then the verifier will verify it. If the assetter is now fraudulent, let's just say you wanted to add transaction to the chain, and it's like forced transactions, you will lose some of the money that your bond, which is the money like you staked, and the verifier that called you out to get some of that your money that you lost. And even the challenger also, if the assetter, the person that proposed those changes, is not guilty of basically pushing fraudulent transactions on the chain, the person that came and said, oh, I want to look at this, I think he committed fraud, he will lose some of their money. So that's the whole idea around optimistic roll-ups. Right now, there are lots of things are going up right now in the space, and people just like pick what they feel they can use mostly. And the most popular to me is ZK knowledge, because that one basically means it requires a prover verifier. And it's the case about like now, I want to show you a painting, and in that painting, it's a painting of birds, all birds. But now in that painting, there is probably let me just say, a penguin there. But then I will not point to you exactly. Let's now say I covered that painting with another, let's just say a plain sheet. And that plain sheet, there's a hole there. When you look to that hole, you can see the penguin. But then if I remove my plain sheet away, you don't know exactly where the penguin is, but you know that by looking through that plain sheet, you're able to see a penguin. You know that there's a penguin on my artwork. So that's the whole concept of ZK rollups. I don't want to verify. I don't want to show you how I found my answer. I don't want to show you where my answer is or what it is. But I can show you the fact that, okay, this is my answer, and you can look at, is my answer correct or is it true? And it's actually going to be true because of it is there and it's the right thing. So, like I said, please go through this. I can't take you everything on that. And then there's this one, plasma. It's a lot. It's really a lot. So my advice, please just go through it. And there are even some other parts that are coming up, like validium chains and even evolution chains. You can't keep track of every single thing, and even looking for projects that are making use of them, it's a lot of work. So, like I wrote down here, refer to the layer 2 blockchain notes, what I showed you guys there. Please go through it and do the assignments there. And there are extra reading resources there, so you can also go through them. How do you position yourself as a dev? Now, I'm teaching you a lot about, this is the L2 space and all, because of, as a dev, learning solidity. My first point I wrote here is keep learning. Keep learning, because of what you think you know today will not be enough for tomorrow, or not be enough in, let me just give you 1 month's time. Why? So things will come up, better ways of doing things will come up. Like now, when solidity became very popular, everyone was like, writing an NFT contract or an else, it's building a token was like the most amazing thing. But right now, it's not. Why? People are just like, there are so many customizable stuff that I don't need to know how to write a contract, but I can create a token. People have created solutions like that, and that's the thing about build that just have a problem and solve it. So you can't come out to me and say that I want to write an ERC20 token for you or an NFT smart contract. Unless you're doing something very special, I'll just be like, and then I know what I want. I could just go onto platform, or like example, Open Zeppelin. They have like Open Zeppelin Wizard, which allows me to customize my ERC20 or ERC71. That means that you as a dev, that you think all you need to know is learn how to build an NFT contract. That's not more enough, Again, you can't just know that and then think that you get a job. No, it can't work. Secondly, this is something I wish someone told me earlier in my career. Learning solidity is not enough. I feel like, yes, when you start your journey, you think that, once I know solidity, that's all I need to know to get the high paying 4K jobs in US, so cool and be earning cool money. But then after learning, you realize that that's not enough, because of there are other applications that goes into it. Like example, if you want to focus on front end, you know about WAGMI, Rainbow Kits. These are frameworks that allows you build your front end and integrate the smart contracts, and they make things very very easy. And now let's just say you are a Solidity developer that wants to focus on front end. You need to understand these things, and that's not enough. If you say you're backend, Solidity is a backend language. Do you know other programming language, like example Node or probably Rust or even Java? Because of, if you move into a Web3 company now, the way I've, from my experience so far, I have seen that Web3 is just like a 10% addition to most products. Most products are tech products are majorly front end, back end, cloud, and then Web3 is just an added sprinkle. Yes, the company may come out and say we are fully Web3 every single thing, but when you are inside the team, you just realize that what you're doing Web3 is probably just transactions, and that is mostly it's in Web3 for most people. They're not that creative with it. So learning Solidity is not enough. Yes, I know, like now you want to become a blockchain engineer, but like I've told you, don't just think that okay, Solidity is all that you need. No, figure out where you want to be or what kind of dev that you want to be, and then learn skills that are also in that line of space. Are you guys following me?
Yes. Sure.
Thank you. My third point would be master your fundamentals.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Master your fundamentals. The reason why I said especially JavaScript, you can't run away from JavaScript. I know when you want to learn, when most people want to start coding, they go with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they learn small and run away. But when you are writing Solidity, you have to write things like tests, and this will test your knowledge of JavaScript. And if you don't know your JavaScript very well, it will really mess you up. Apart from that, it will help in improving your logic, the way you think of solutions. And it's just like you can't just ignore it. And now in most languages, like right now, I've had the privilege of exploring Rust. You can't ignore some fundamentals, like example, learning how to write an if else or loops. In almost every language, Python, Java, those things exist. So if you think that, oh, I will just ignore them, you still face them in our language. And maybe one thing about coding is the fact that once you learn a language, it's easier for you to pick up another language. So always know your fundamentals. Like it's best that you focus 1 month on mastering something than you thinking that, oh, I can master like 3 within, I will take a longer time and I'll master a lot of things. No, it's best that you sit down with one thing for a long time. Because of if you think that, oh, by let's just say the whole, like, oh, I would have mastered React in just this much, and you don't do anything about it, next year will come, you'll not master that React, and time just keeps going. It just keeps going. So you have to, it's best that you focus on learning something and know it well. Sometime after you grow from a position or from a phase, you don't have time to go back to be learning those things, and those things will be tested, and then you probably fail. So as a dev, I advise you to just master your fundamentals. My fourth point is to experiment with the latest innovation. Like I told you guys about account abstraction, that's the latest thing in Web3. There's one more thing that came up right now. They call it the Shanghai upgrade, and it was by Vitalik Buterin. It just came up right now. So it has to do with like experiment with latest innovation. Like now, something came up in terms of a new EIP, and this is what it's meant to do. As a dev, you have to go to GitHub and go and look at how does this work, what are the use cases, and try to build the simplest of projects, and just to have the knowledge of how everything works. And then if you are not shy, our advice, post it online. Why? That's moves me to my next point. The people that I've realized in my journey, the people that get the best paid jobs and all, are not the people that are the smartest in the room generally. They are people that have been able to position themselves. They position themselves enough, and then they also, like, let's say, build stuffs and then pushing it out. And they position themselves such they were in center of all the right audience. Like example, they were in the Web3 communities, following the right people on Twitter. Like my 4, 5, and 6 points are all connected. They're like in the right communities, following the right people on Twitter, and then they were engaging, talking, they were building stuff and asking people to comment. In Web3, no one is going to is not asking. No one is gonna like asking for permission. That's not how it works. You will not say that, oh, I want to do something, give me permission. You go and you do it, and you drop it for proof of work, and you think it does not matter until you see that someone will check out. If you're in the right community, you see that, oh, someone likes your work, and before you know, they enter your DM and collaborate on your code. And that's how you people just get jobs. It's not just about, oh, I've built this and you're not talking about your work. It cannot work. That cannot fly. As a dev, it's not just you knowing that you are good. The world needs to also know that you are good. And that is my point. These are my points for my advice to you to position yourself for better opportunities as a dev. Now, this that's like that one. Now, for all these things I told you about now, in applying it to like this ecosystem, you all know about zk rollups. So Stacknet is also a layer 2 solution, and the reason why I like Stacknet is because of it's still very early, but it has a lot of mass adoption. The only issue about it is now, like I told you, Solidity is not enough. Stacknet uses Cairo. That's the programming language they use. And right now, it's like trying to solve the issue of scalability. And you can see how big the ecosystem is. That means that okay, someone is joining in. So how big this ecosystem is, that means that look at all these companies. These are more than 20 companies here. That means there are 20 more than enough jobs for everybody here. But you can't just get jobs by thinking that you'll be average and you get a job. You have to probably look into a project and then probably join their communities, look at the project and just interact and now find ways that you can contribute. All these people here are paying. In Web3, I like the fact that people don't normally do free work mostly. In terms of like you enter, if you contribute and you're active there, people pay you. They could pay you to write, pay you to market, and as a dev, the best thing about being a dev is that when you build something using in an innovation, let's just make use of this MySwap. Now you build something in MySwap, you basically may have the chance, like now this MySwap, you can see they are all in the same DeFi ecosystem. You went to work, you built something in MySwap, you can carry it all over to StackSwap and just be like, oh, I built this for MySwap, this is what it does. And StackSwap may be impressed and they'll be like, oh yeah, sure, we'd like to hire you. And then through just like moving into projects and contributing, you build up a portfolio of blockchain products that you have built or contributed to, and that makes you like attractive in the job market. Now, the Stacknet ecosystem is still very young. If you want to get into it, it's really nice. You just have to pick up a new language, Cairo, and it's even getting a lot of adoption. It's just like how Solidity came out. So it depends. The reason why I want this is because of, if I'm going to be a developer for a long time, L1s are what L1 language I know is Solidity, and I'm even picking up Rust on the side because of I see like now Cairo basically is like it resembles Rust. So if you know Rust, it helps a lot. And Rust is also using Solana blockchain. And apart from that, you can also use it in building Web2 apps. And then it's also secured. So that is also a good gameplay to play. And that skill you can add to yourself. Now, I'm coming. After I'm done, you ask your questions, please. Thank you. So, and now L2s is now like if L1 you pick a stack and then you now want to look into an L2 project that you want to contribute to, you have to learn the language of the game. Like for me, Cairo. So there's the African community here and there's even a YouTube channel right now. I think Stacknet Africa is having like a workshop whereby they're teaching people about the latest Cairo 1.0. So language keeps changing. So you can join in if you want. And this is me here. If you have any question, you can message me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter also, and I'll be happy to respond to your DM. Thank you very much for listening to me. I really hope that you learned a lot. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, you can unmute your mic and talk now. Thank you.
Your Twitter, please display it again.
Okay. I will drop my Twitter handle in the chat session so you guys can just follow me. Okay. So, does anyone have any other question?
So yeah, I have question actually.
Okay.
So the thing is that I'm a backend developer and I write Golang. So
Okay.
and I write Golang.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been looking into ways I can just break into Web3. So I'm thinking, is there does Golang really has any compatibility with any solution in Web3 or where I can apply it?
Yeah, it does actually. Let me share my screen with you. So it does actually. Golang Solidity is the most popular language, but there's also Golang also. And Golang's devs are highly sorted. It depends on how you're doing. So let me just enter. This is Nethermind. Nethermind is like they build different blockchain solutions. So I know of, can you see this? They want a senior blockchain engineer Golang. Can you see? Hello?
Yes, I can see it.
So now let's enter into their job description. So this is what Nethermind does. And looking for a self-starter, growth-minded. This is what they want. Okay, a lot of experience, but they want you to have Golang experience and have know all the distributed networks. So you see, learning just probably Solidity or even Golang is not enough. They want cryptography also, like at least understand what these things are. And also Golang is mostly like blockchain protocols. You know that what now when it comes to the Web3 space, people just think it's all about smart contracts. Smart contracts is just like DApp development. DApp development means you're just building the app. But those blockchains themselves, that Bitcoin, that Ethereum, those things there are people who build them, and those are like protocol engineers. So Golang, according to this, can also be used to build like a whole blockchain on its own. Like you're building a blockchain from the scratch and you could call it your name. So you could have a Femi blockchain or even a Blessing blockchain, a non-safe blockchain. So you can see Golang is actually needed, but it has like there are other skills. Look for the other skills that a Golang engineer have and try to also like learn about them and find something that you can build as your proof of work. Okay. All right. So I'll take that as a yes. So does any other person have a question for me? Is there any question? All right, so no more question again. So guys, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that showed up for the class today. I really appreciate your presence and I hope that you keep on. Hey, why did I lost my internet connection? Sorry about that, my internet went off. So I was saying that, does anyone have any question for me? Okay, no question. So guys, thank you so much for joining it. Ebun, do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Somebody was trying to ask a question before your network.
Oh, please ask who?
Yes.
Mishak. Mishak, do you have a question for me?
Yes. Like your response, I missed out almost like 80% of them. So I think my network just went off.
Okay. So you told me about you learning Golang, and do you remember I pointed you to a website, Nethermind?
Yes. So, but I don't mind if you can drop the link in the chat box.
I will drop the link on the chat box so you can see it there. And now you can see, okay, that's Nethermind. So you guys should follow me on Twitter also.
Okay.
So Nethermind, like I told you, they build blockchain products, and now I showed you the roles that they're hiring for. Apart from that, you should be able to see other products that they are building on. I know of, I think a friend that works there, and she knows a bit of Golang and she's contributing there, and she's obviously getting paid. So my own advice to you is now, like, there are other skills that go alongside Golang. Like example, they wrote about cryptography and learning about protocol, distributed systems. Misha, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so those are things that I would advise you to look into. And at the end of it all, it's best that you build 1 or 2 projects as your proof of work, so that it's not as if you're using mouth to talk. You have projects to use to back that up. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Does any other person have another question? Okay, so in the absence of questions, I would like to say thank you all so much for joining in tonight. I hope you learned a lot. And please don't forget to reference the learnweb3.io materials. And if you have any questions, you can ask it on the community page and I'll respond to you. And you can ask me on Twitter also. So have a good evening, guys. Thank you. Enjoy your week. Have a
Thank you
great
so
week.
much.
Sorry, how do we join the community? Like, this is my first time being here. I don't know anything about any
How did you
community.
get the link?
So, like, how do we join? How do I join the community? This is my first time joining you guys.
How did you get the link to this meeting?
I was sent by a friend.
And
so
then ask the friend because of.
I just stumbled randomly.
No, ask the friend for the friend got it from a community. Just ask the friend and the friend will add you up there. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You can also message me on Twitter also. I will get the link and share it to you there. Thank you.